The Constitution of India, Preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution.
Hello students, hope all are doing well. I am very happy that everyone has completed the history files on time in a beautiful manner. I hope you will continue the same. In the previous classes, we learned about fundamental rights in detail. Let's have a recap.
Hi friends, I am Pooja R of 9th E. I am here for a little recap of the topic Fundamental Rights which we have studied in the last history class. Rights which are unavoidable part of a democratic society is ensured by India. These rights are included in part 3 of our constitution as fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are the rights which cannot be denied to any person at any cost. These rights are essential for the rights and dignified life of an individual. In a democratic society, the fundamental rights and its protection is very important. During the British rule, many rights were denied to the Indian citizens by the British government. The Indian freedom movement repeatedly raised the demand of ensuring rights to the Indian citizens. The important among them is the Nehru Committee report of 1928. This report contained a list of rights to be ensured to the Indian citizens by the British government. In our constitution, the rights which were raised at the freedom movement is included by the framers of the Indian Constitution as fundamental rights. The important fundamental rights are right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, right constitutional remedies and cultural and educational rights. Thank you. Bye.
Hi friends, I am Ansia from 9th A. Today I am going to take a recap on the topic right to equality, one of the fundamental right. Early in our society, there were many discriminations and inequality. Right to equality in the Indian Constitution helps to abolish such types of inequality and to ensure equality between all Indians. Ideas included in the right to equality are: ensure equality before law. Equality before law means that all are equal before the legal system. Whatever be the position or power, one should not be above the law. Prohibition of discriminations. Ensure equality of opportunity in public employments. Abolition of untouchability. Abolition of titles. But giving preference to women, children and backward classes is not against the right to equality. Because while giving preference to them, inequality can be avoided and India can be able to attain equality. Thank you all.
Hello my dear friends, I am Shiva Hardasan from 9th A. Today I am standing before you to say a short summary on right to freedom. Right to freedom is very important in a democratic state. Right to freedom ensures freedom of speech and expression, freedom to assemble peacefully without arms, freedom to form associations, freedom to travel anywhere in India, freedom to reside anywhere in India, freedom to carry on any occupation, trade, business, free and compulsory education to all the children in the age group between 6 to 14 years, protection from detection and arbitrary arrest. At the same time, All these rights are having some restrictions also. They cannot be enjoyed in such a way that cause threats to our unity and the peaceful atmosphere of our country. So, I am concluding my words. Thank you, Mini Teacher, for giving me such a wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
Hi friends, I am Asna of 9C. Hope you all are fine and safe at home. So, I am here for a short recap in the third chapter on the topic Right Against Exploitation. We know that there are different types of economic exploitation in our country, such as slavery, child labor, denial of right to education, etc. around us. The right against exploitation are the important fundamental right which guarantee every citizen's protection from any kind of forced labor. There are 2 articles of Constitution which guarantee the right against exploitation. They are forced labor and trafficking human beings are prohibited. Employments of children in factories and other dangerous sectors are forbidden. These rights equip every individual for leading a dignified life. With this, I conclude my words. Thanks a lot for giving me this beautiful opportunity. Be happy and be safe. Bye.
Hello my dear friends, today I am going to take you to the fundamental rights in detail. We all know that in our Indian constitution there are 6 fundamental rights. Rights are right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, culture and educational rights, and rights to constitutional remedies. I am going to explain you about right to freedom of religion. Before going to that, let me introduce a small quote of Jawaharlal Nehru.
The government of a country like India, with many religions, can never function in the modern age without originating to secularism. Our constitution is based on secular conception and gives religions freedom. Jawaharlal Nehru.
Jawaharlal Nehru mentioned about secularism. Then what do you mean by secularism? It means India does not have any religion and it does not promote any religion, but religion's freedom is ensured. Right to freedom ensures us right to profess, practice and propagate any religion, freedom to establish and maintain institution religion's purpose, right against taxation for promoting particular religion. This is Abhirami J from 9th E. Thank you, Mini Teacher, for giving such a wonderful opportunity.
Hi friends, I'm Ifat Fatima from 9th C. So let's get a short recap about cultural and educational rights. As we all know, India is a land of diversity and it is very essential to recognize and respect the diversity for the development and unity of the nation. Hence, our constitution gives prime consideration for the protection of minority interest. Cultural and educational rights have been included in the Constitution for the protection of the interest of the minority sections. According to this, the following aspects have been ensured for the minorities: protection of their language, script and culture. Religious and linguistic minorities have the right to establish and administer educational institutions of their choice. Thank you.
Hi friends, myself Ashira Geeti from 9th E. Hope you guys are happy and safe in your homes. I am here to give a quick recap on the topic right to constitutional remedies. The Constitution proposes remedial measures if the fundamental rights are violated. This is known as right to constitutional remedies. As per this right, if fundamental rights such as right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights are violated, an individual can approach either Supreme Court or High Court for enforcing them. The architect of Indian Constitution, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, has said that, according to him, the most important provision in the Constitution is the right to constitutional remedies. And he also told that it is the heart and soul of Indian Constitution. After hearing these words, we can understand the importance and the relevance of the right to constitutional remedies. I am really thankful to Mini Teacher for giving me such a good opportunity. Thank you all.
Thank you, students. You have done a wonderful job. Today, we will discuss the next topic. Look at the collage given in your textbook. What did you understand from this? First one, action plan for waste management. The first one says about environmental protection. Second, government declared debates for Khadi products. The second one says about the protect small scale industries and promote Khadi products. And third, pan masala prohibited. And the third one says about prohibition of intoxicants or addictive drugs. So, our government has the duty to protect and preserve the welfare of the people. As per the constitution, it is the duty of the government to make sure the welfare of the people through certain principles. Such principles are named as directive principles. Directive principles of state policies are some instructions to the state for achieving economic and social development. So children, what are directive principles? The constitution directs the central and the state governments to organize and implement programs keeping the public welfare in mind. Such directives are included in Part 4 of the Indian Constitution as directive principles. As the name indicates, all these are directions. പൊതുജനക്ഷേമത്തിനു വേണ്ടിയും സാമ്പത്തിക സാമൂഹ്യ വികസനത്തിനു വേണ്ടിയും കേന്ദ്ര സംസ്ഥാന ഗവൺമെൻറ്റുകൾ സ്വീകരിക്കേണ്ട നടപടികളെക്കുറിച്ചാണ് നിർദ്ദേശക തത്വങ്ങളിൽ പരാമർശിച്ചിട്ടുള്ളത്. നിർദ്ദേശങ്ങളാണ്, ഗവൺമെൻറ്റുകൾക്ക് കൊടുക്കേണ്ട നിർദ്ദേശങ്ങളാണ്. ഒരു രാജ്യത്തിൻ്റെ പുരോഗതിക്ക് വേണ്ടി ഈ കാര്യങ്ങളെല്ലാം ചെയ്തിരിക്കണം. These are the directives to the state which are to be considered while formulating policies and implementing plans. Certain rights which were impossible to be included in fundamental rights are also included in the directive principles. കേന്ദ്ര സംസ്ഥാന ഗവൺമെൻറ്റുകൾ നയരൂപീകരണ സമയത്ത് സ്വീകരിക്കേണ്ട നിർദ്ദേശങ്ങളാണിവ. മൗലിക അവകാശങ്ങളിൽ ഉൾപ്പെടുത്താൻ കഴിയാത്ത അവകാശങ്ങളും നിർദ്ദേശക തത്വങ്ങളിൽ ഉൾപ്പെടുത്തിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. You know what we can do if fundamental rights are violated. Okay, if fundamental rights are violated, we can approach the Supreme Court or High Courts. But there is no provision to approach the court for the enforcement of directive principles. പക്ഷേ ഗവൺമെൻറ്റുകൾ നിർദ്ദേശക തത്വങ്ങൾ പാലിച്ചില്ല എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ് നമ്മൾക്ക് കോടതികളെ സമീപിക്കാൻ കഴിയില്ല. Several ideas of the father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi, have been included in the directive principles. Some of them are organization of Grama Panchayat, promotion of cottage industries, prohibition of intoxicating substances. There is an indivisible relationship between fundamental rights and directive principles. Directive principles are to be implemented for the realization of fundamental rights in its full sense. അതായത് മൗലിക അവകാശങ്ങൾ, ജനങ്ങളുടെ മൗലിക അവകാശങ്ങൾ ഉറപ്പാക്കുന്നതിന് വേണ്ടി ഗവൺമെൻറ് സ്വീകരിക്കേണ്ട നടപടികളാണ് നിർദ്ദേശക തത്വങ്ങളായിട്ട് പരാമർശിച്ചിട്ടുള്ളത്, കൊടുത്തിട്ടുള്ളത് നമ്മുടെ ഭരണഘടനയിൽ. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ അവ പരസ്പരം ബന്ധപ്പെട്ടിരിക്കുന്നു. As a criterion which help the evaluation and betterment of the governmental activities, no one can deny the importance of directive principles. Now we have learned about the fundamental rights in detail. Along with the fundamental rights, we have certain duties also. Here is an activity for you on page number 48. Read the checklist well and complete it. Certain duties which we have performed are given in the checklist. Let's learn what fundamental duties are. Certain duties are performed to protect the unity and integrity of the nation. These duties are known as fundamental duties. Now you say, fundamental rights are included in which part of the Constitution? Yes, part 3 of our Constitution included as fundamental rights. Fundamental duties are included in part 4A of the Constitution. When the states provides us rights and protection, it is our duty to abide the Constitution, to develop cordiality among the citizens and to provide help for the betterment of the nation. മൗലിക കർത്തവ്യങ്ങൾ പാലിക്കപ്പെടേണ്ടത് എല്ലാവരുടെയും ഉത്തരവാദിത്തമാണ്. മൗലിക കർത്തവ്യങ്ങൾ നിറവേറ്റപ്പെടുന്നതിലൂടെ മെച്ചപ്പെട്ട സമൂഹം സൃഷ്ടിക്കപ്പെടുന്നു. Accomplishing the fundamental duties in this manner will create a better society and its result will reach everyone. In effect, the fundamental duties can be considered as the responsibilities which the individual have to perform towards themselves. The nation can achieve unity and progress only through ensuring fundamental rights, implementing directive principles and fulfilling fundamental duties. So we have learned about fundamental rights, directive principles and fundamental duties. I hope you have got a clear picture about this. Now it's time to wind up the section. Children, go through the textbook. If you have any doubts, clarify it with me. Okay, see you in the next class. Till then, bye.